right, y'all. Welcome to the August edition of the 101 with the Supervillain series here in this Supervillain Squad Patreon. Man, me, you already know who I am. Thank you to everybody who's continually supported these, everybody who gives me a lot of feedback on them, everyone who says they enjoy watching them. I always tell y'all, I enjoy doing these, man. I enjoy making time to do these, to talk to everybody. I get to play catch up with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Life is trying to move again for people, and for some it's still wild because of everything going on. But nonetheless, I'm talking with one of my homies from the shop I love talking to. He was someplace last night. I'm gonna get his thoughts on that, being in the building for that. My homie, Mr. Chauncey Woodson. What up, bro?
What's going on, brother? What's up, Supervillain Squad?
First of all, I'm gonna need you. I understand you said you was going through some things. I kind of need. I hear it all in your voice. I hear it all in the voice. Like,
Look,
you know what I'm saying? I hear all the stress in the voice. Trust me, as somebody who's been through it, I understand it. That's why I say it.
Basically, long story short, man, work be kicking my ass because we've been understaffed for the past couple of weeks.
Oh,
and,
so you've had to pull extra weight around, huh?
Yeah, and what make it worse is that the general office talking about they ain't doing no more hiring for the rest of the year, and I'm like, oh, great, so y'all trying to run me to the ground. So that's been kind of stressing and tripping me out.
And the holidays coming up, like, don't play. Well, I mean, the whole COVID situation, so it's like it's unknown.
Right. So it's like right now, I don't know how these next couple of months going to be. So I'm just hoping and praying to get through it nonetheless.
Nah, I get you. Bro.
Another thing that's kind of been trying on me, like the recent deaths that's been happening around Chicagoland, like the past couple of weeks. One with the officer that had got shot and killed in traffic stop, Ella French. I mean, you and I, we've talked numerous times about, ups and downs as far as what we feel is like with CPD and police in general.
Yeah.
Of course, we still know about the few good ones that we know personally,
right,
who actually do their jobs and such. And she seemed like she was one who actually legit did her job. So for the mofos who did take her life, yeah, by all means, throw the book at them, do what needs to be done.
Of course, I mean, I saw that, and I was like, first of all, rest in peace and condolences.
Hey, absolutely.
Fallen officer, her friends, colleagues, and family.
Mm-hmm.
But the dudes that they caught, I was like, y'all lucky they got them quickly.
Yeah.
And people were like, what? Somebody, I was telling somebody that, and they was like, what do you mean? I'm like, if they wouldn't have got them as quick as they got them, the streets would have not. Y'all thought the streets was hot already. They would have been going through everybody.
I was going to say, they thought it was bad when stuff went down last year with George Floyd and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It would have amplified. Because what trips me out even more is the fact that you got your select few cops who, all blue lives matter, this and that, and so on and so forth. We already know how we stand and feel on that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're up here making statements on Facebook talking about, well, this is what happens when, a blue state is ran the way it is. And, this is what happens when things go down in this type of neighborhood, meaning black neighborhood or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, you know what? A, what this job entails. B, to make a generalized and absolute statement like that is fucked up. But then again, look what kind of cops are.
Look where it comes from.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, if it happened to somebody like them, then, it'd be all types of rallies and this and that or whatever. It's like, well, okay, nobody dissed what happened to this young lady, for one. Not at least of what I know of.
Yeah.
So it's like, for you to make this general statement about, well, this is what happens in a black neighborhood and this and that, that's some bullshit. So
let me say this. I'm sitting here looking, I'm Googling real quick while I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Googling Richard Daley.
Yeah.
Right. And then I want to Google his daddy.
Mm-hmm.
For one reason and one reason alone is because I wanted to make sure I knew their political affiliations.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure I was correct on it. The Daleys were both a part of the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody who follows me in the squad, who follows me on social media knows I said this. If you make your political affiliation your entire life and identity, and you don't work in politics, you need to get some fucking help. That's whether you on the left, right, whatever. If you don't work in politics, if you don't, if you're not a political science major, if you're not a political journalist, if you're not an aide to a congressman or somebody in political office, stop first and foremost, right? Stop that shit. Now, I say that to sit there and go, oh, this is what happens when a blue state is blah, 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 blah. Chicago's been one of the most corrupt cities for God knows how long.
Too long.
Illinois has been one of the most corrupt states for God knows how long.
Too damn long.
The problem is, no people have ever said it this way when it's a Democratic state. You only said that now because it's a black gay woman mayor. Let's be real.
100.
It's because it's a black gay woman mayor. Everybody like, oh, well, she's just not doing her job. Look, if y'all think that, quote unquote, if Chicago thought that a Democrat or Republican, however you look at whatever political affiliation wasn't doing their job, guess what happens? They get voted out.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that you had to suck it up in the Chicago election being you were either going to have one black gay woman mayor or another black gay woman mayor. That was your choices.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Those were your choices.
No, I get what you're saying, totally.
And I go to that because it's like, oh, if this was run by Republicans, it'd be better. Yo, Republican governors have constantly gotten arrested, indicted, and shit like that from Illinois. So what are you saying?
Exactly.
The Dailies were some of the most crooked mayors in the history of America. Everyone knows that the Dailies, not only political, but organized crime ties and all that. So people got to miss you. You know, some people are like, yeah, this is right. If you were a Democrat, come on now. The biggest criminals that ran the city were the Dailies, and everybody knows about that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I get what you're saying on that. And then what's crazy, too, is like when it comes to certain spots, like they want to talk about what happened on 63rd and Artesian. Well, what about what happened over there in Mount Greenwood a couple years back when that one undercover cop had shot the one kid, in the middle of the street when he was coming from like a funeral thing or something like that in Mount Greenwood of all places. And then when people came to protest and stuff like that, you saw all the Mount Greenwood folks talking about, go back to Inglewood, go back to how you know they came from Inglewood first off. So that's generalizing right there.
Generalization quickly. Like, again, Morgan Park is right down the street. Beverly is right down the street.
Yeah. And I work around there.
And that's just the city.
Right.
Not even the burbs that are right, you know what I'm saying? Calumet Park, et cetera, et cetera. Like, stop. But Mount Greenwood is like Bridgeport. Has always been a racist ass neighborhood. No matter what, you get one or two black families moving to Mount Greenwood. People are like, oh, Mount Greenwood all good now. No, it's not.
Hell no. Yeah, that's why before I moved out this way to Southside, when I used to visit people from out south here, I made damn sure I went straight through Mount Greenwood, no questions asked, no pit stops, no nothing, because I already knew what they was about.
Check this out. I used to stay, before I moved, I ended up staying with my homeboy's mom on 82nd in California.
Okay.
But that was before I had let go of my apartment with my ex-girlfriend. We were staying off 111th and Pryor. We stayed at Morgan Park. I would go to the Charter Fitness that was right there on 111th and Artesian, right past Western.
Right.
That's still Chicago, but it slowly starts becoming the Mount Greenwood feel.
Right.
You would see it there. Go further west. Now, this is when I was running Riddles, the open mic.
Yeah.
I would take the bus. I take the 111 bus that stops at Pulaski. The line's Pulaski, right by Chaz.
Yeah, I remember.
Right by Chaz, and then I got to cross the street to get on the Pace bus. Same shit. People look at you funny. What you doing over here? Yo, the bus just stopped here. It's a whole high school right here. What are you talking about? It's a whole high school with not, for lack of better words, not scraggly run-of-the-mill black kids. Because to go to Chaz, you have to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? So with this perception, this automatic, oh, what are these Inglewood, these these Robert Taylor homes, these all these type Stateway Gardens type kids doing here? Like, no. These kids, regardless of their neighborhood, have earned the right to be here. But you think because of the color of their skin, they're not there. And so again, it's sad to say that Chicago to this day still is one of the most racist segregated cities in the country. And people don't believe it. As we've said it before on here, as beautiful as our city is, as much as I love to go home and talk about my city, it is, I know for a fact what the city is.
Exactly.
And
then kind of like another thing that happened to one of my homies that I came up with through Menards over the years. He unfortunately lost his 15-year-old daughter like last week or two. She was drugged, raped, and left for dead in Oak Park in the alleyway. Thankfully, 2-3 days later, they caught the motherfuckers who did it, and he's pressing for the most highest charges possible to put them down.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man. And I mean, my heart still breaks for him to this day.
Of course.
And it's like, my overall thing is this. It's like, anytime you commit any type of sexual assault or harm, especially to a young child, even a little kid, you are a piece of shit and you need to get put down permanently. Sorry, not
sorry. And no, you shouldn't be, because here's the thing with that is, they say if the streets don't get them, the prison gonna get them, because you can be in prison for murder. It's cool. The one thing you don't want to be in prison for is any sexual assault crimes or any crimes against kids. They say, because if you went there for that, you ain't got long. You ain't got long. You can't be in protective custody the whole time, because even if you think you're in protective custody, the guards fuck around and get you.
Oh yeah.
So to those who commit those type of heinous crimes and those individuals, fuck them.
Yep.
It's sad. It's there's a level of which, like, yo, a 15-year-old you drug and rape and leave for dead, and then the life expires, and you're like, come on, fam. Like, what type of heinous act is that? And then 9 times out of 10, because we see it all the time, you get those people, well, I'm so sorry, I don't know what came up. No, you know exactly what came over you. Stop that.
Right.
You know exactly what it was. That's, man, I'm sorry to hear all that, man. I really am. I'm glad you were able to get that off your chest. I do want to switch gears, man. I want to make it a little bit more, this is your time, but I want to make it a little bit more lively, if you will.
That's cool. That's cool. And that's part of the reason why I'm glad you finally came through, because I know you've been hella busy doing what you do. So,
man, I was like, every time I looked up, I was like, all right, cool. Because initially I was like, I should schedule these at the beginning of the month.
Right.
But then I was like, if I fuck around and schedule these at the beginning of the month, the later in the month, shit will come in. And so then when I tried, I was like, all right, I got to get these out. Because I did not want, I tell everybody every month, it's not, I never want to not do these, because I enjoy doing these. These are a break for, just as much as you all love doing it with me, I love, because again, it's a break from the norm. Like right now, all I'm doing is sitting here doing this, watching Breaking Bad again, because I'm finally watching the whole thing. It's very sad.
I've been people that on Twitter.
You just watching this. It's like, it's very sad.
Right.
Well, because I didn't like Breaking Bad fans.
No, I get you.
The fans did not want to watch it.
At first, I was like that with GOT, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead, dive in.
Same here.
Dived in. I was like, okay, I get it. But
I didn't get into it until almost season 4.
Right.
And that was because of the fans online. I'm like, I don't need this. Y'all just too much. Like, I tell everybody, Rick and Morty fans, like, I like Rick and Morty, but I will never be online talking about Rick and Morty like everybody else. It's the greatest thing. Right. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
But yeah, I've been watching this. Like, I'm almost on season 5, dog. I'm on the season 4 finale. So you watched it, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
First of all, I understand. I've always been a fan of Giancarlo Esposito.
That's been my since school days.
Like, nigga, I was literally just going to say, that is always going to be Ding Big Brother Almighty to me, okay?
Yes, sir.
No matter what. I've always been a fan of everything he's done, his work. But him as Gus in this?
Man.
Bro, the level of the level of crime boss where he plays this mild-mannered fast food restaurant manager.
That's what makes it so cold too. It's like you ain't gotta be just break out. I'm evil, this and that. You just like be cool, calm, collect.
This nigga's like, yo, welcome to Let's Play Your Mom.
Can
Can I help you? Can I help you? Would you like to
right
enjoy your meal? Like this nigga is gonna kill people.
right exactly. And that's what's beautiful about it too. Your villains ain't always gotta be already evil. They could just be just all
between him. So there's another thing. The wife, Skylar. So I've been every time I watch it, I do a lot of Googling and research and everything. And I found out the wife was catching all type of hell on social media.
Man, that junk there.
Here's the thing. Stop sending people death threats in real life.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, just tell them the character is a horrible person.
Right. It's like,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, prime example, what's brother Michael Beach? Whether it was Waiting to Excel or Soul Food, this brother said every time he would try to walk the streets peacefully, some sister would walk up talking about, I hate your ass or something like that. I'd be like, he's just an actor. Relax, chill out.
Lawrence Fishburne called that for years after What's Love got to do with it. Like, this nigga isn't really Ike Turner.
Right. Just leave it alone.
Stop. This nigga isn't really Ike Turner. Like, and so I've been watching it, and then like Gus, I was like, oh, okay. Then they showed an episode of how Donnie Idoladio killed his boy, had Hector kill his boy. I was like, oh,
damn.
Had them all sit there and just get his blade. Like, oh, shit. But Skylar, I get why people started to hate her because she became as more lethal and evil-minded as Walter, but tried to make Walter seem like he was in the wrong.
Right.
I bet you got a criminal mind and you don't want to admit it.
Yeah. Crazy people, man. Crazy people.
Watch that. So last night, you were at the UC.
Yes, sir. Celebrating with my homie James, his lady, and one of our other good friends.
So I'll say this. For those who don't know, we're going to talk about it. CM Punk made his return to pro wrestling. I was one of the many people, including pro wrestlers, who was like, yo, AEW may be fucking around and trolling everybody. Because I was like, they may be trolling people. And I was like, here's the thing. If he shows up, cool. But I'm like, this could be a good-ass troll just to get people to pack out the United Center.
And that was back in my mind all along. It's like, this got to be a rib. This got to be some type of...
They're going to have some joke or some shit happen.
Exactly.
And for them to kick off the show and Cult of Personality hits, I was watching the videos. I was like, okay, I got goosebumps. I'm not going to lie.
Bro, when them first couple of guitar riffs hit, like it felt like the damn United Center was shaking. I was like, oh, shit. And then when you see him walk, I'm like, this is actually happening.
You know what? I've been reading a lot of social media things, and people have been asking whose return was bigger, though, his or Edge's? Because that's a good comparison. Because yes, we get CM Punk ain't been in the wrestling business in the ring in 7 years.
Right.
I get that, but Edge was never believed to wrestle again.
That's the thing. And
because
you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. Go ahead. That's what I was saying.
No, I was just gonna say because the beauty part with Edge is that it was so well done under wraps. Nobody really knew nothing until that Royal Rumble.
Nobody knew,
and that's what was beautiful about it. The thing with Punk is that it was always just talk and speculation, but you never know what was gonna be what.
And again, I think, like I said, I think the reason they let it get out was because remember, maybe a year ago, there were rumors that he was supposed to talk to Tony Khan, and then Punk was pissed because he didn't want it to come out. So when you heard this got out, I was like, but he was pissed last time when the info got out. But also then I started putting two and two together. They're going to be at the United Center.
Right.
They need to pack out the United Center. Right? You need to pack out the United Center. you need to make sure this is all worth it because it's not the Wintrust. Wintrust is only 10,000 seats.
Oh, yeah.
Not just at a 23K. You can't get the Allstate because Vince got that bitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ain't no Allstate happening.
Ain't no Allstate ever happening. And then the Sears Center is so way out of town anyway.
Yeah. Hoffman is a hike.
Right. The United Center is a legit public transportation destination. Like, legit, get off the Damon bus, get off the Madison bus. You know what I'm saying? You can walk from the Green Line if you want, whatever.
Yes, sir.
But to see him there, and he said something when I was listening to his speech, he was like, I couldn't have got better mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally being where I am. And it made me debate with some people because they were like, well, AEW treats everybody better. I'm like, naturally they're going to. This is the first couple of years.
Exactly.
Everybody's going to feel it's a difference. It's a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody was like, well, WWE keeps letting go of talent. And I tweeted, I said, that's the business. I hate people understand that. That's always the business. Anybody who joins pro wrestling, who when you want to get to the WWE, yes, you want to do that. You do know, you want to try to get to this spot. You want to make all this money. You want to make this name for yourself. But you do also know you're an independent contractor and your job is at will.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, yes, you can be in a storyline, all this other shit. And then tomorrow somebody be like, hey, man, we got to let you go.
Right.
It's just like a regular job. But I said that to tell somebody, you do realize it's going to come a point AEW going to have to release people.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, trying to acquire, all this former talent like Punk, Christian, even like Mark Henry or Big Show and this and that, it's like you can only bring in so many people. And it's like it's going to outshine all your natural.
And that's going to be the issue. And that's going to be the issue because that's what the Impact, when they were TNA, they built up, they were like, yo, we got this core group of guys. Some you may have never heard of, some you might have heard of frequently, sparingly, and you'll see them now, blah, 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 blah. Now we put them on a bigger stage. Yes, you get some ex-WWE talent to help put more eyes on the product. Understandable. That's what anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's like in the nerd world. If you have a personality who's only on one thing and they all of a sudden show up on another network, oh shit, what they doing over here? That's how that works.
Right.
But like you said, you can keep bringing in, like, look, that's the business. Talent goes where talent wants to work. It doesn't matter whether they ex-WWE, AEW, WCW, Impact, it doesn't matter. Talent's going to work, right?
Yeah.
The problem's going to be as talent keep getting released, and not even just talent gets released, more talent comes up. More indie talent comes up and develop. More talent that's not even just a WWE, that's at MLW, that's at ROH, that's in New Japan, that they finally want to sign. Eventually, people going to have to start getting gone. And then y'all going to be mad at that. Well, now they're getting rid of talent. It had to happen regardless.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't be surprised. I tell people, don't be surprised within a couple years. And this is a possibility. It's not a guarantee. Jade Cargill gets so good when she finally gets that they finally let her go, and Vince takes it. Now, supposedly, she told Vince no. She told Vince no at first. But now, when she builds this name up and she can have her worth, you think she's gonna tell her no? No, they bring her in. You can potentially dominate the division.
Oh yeah.
I'm just using her as an example. I guarantee Britt Baker is somebody that's probably never going over there.
Right.
I mean, she might because Adam Cole is still there. That may be the leverage point, because that's why Vince talked to Adam Cole, was like, yo, I know if I can't keep you here at NXT or get you on these two shows, you're going over there. And it's just so wild. Again, I'm glad to see, again, going back to Punk, I'm glad to see he's working Darby Allin first and foremost.
Yes.
Because it speaks volumes.
Oh yeah.
It speaks volumes to say, I want to work with the young guys.
Yep.
Not to say, yo, I just want to work Miro. I just want to work Christian K. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to do that.
Exactly.
So, yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, because you could easily pair them up to, those couple of guys you mentioned. You could easily pair them up to like a Malachi Black or something like that, which I think would be a badass match indeed. But I wouldn't mind him going against like Jungle Boy. I wouldn't mind seeing him going against Dante Wright or cats like that. So
You know what's funny though, and this is the difference now with AEW as opposed to WWE.
mhm.
So the thing WWE is, and AEW may do this. So we know because tonight as we're recording, SummerSlam is tonight.
Yeah.
WWE has been putting John Cena on dark matches to let him work out his kinks to get his full ring rust off of him.
Mhm.
How is AEW going to do this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You see what I'm saying? Because Punk has to get that rust off.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can train, like, I ain't gonna lie, I need to go take some bumps because I got to do a show next week. I got to take a couple bumps, get some running in, just my body to feel it.
Right.
But it's like, how do you have? I mean, yeah, you can put him on dark matches, but you got to get this dude in front of crowds.
Yes.
And you got to be ready to accept the fact that he's going to be potentially rusty. He's going to be audience TV rusty.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to figure out how to do. That's the only thing with that. Like, you got to figure out how to get him that way. So we'll see.
Yeah, because I was gonna say too, last night, even though he kind of knew what to say to the degree, you can also tell it's been so long he's been around a crowd like that, and it's like he was just like kind of speechless at first, like.
But he should be.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's just be real. Look, you are coming back to a business you love that somebody almost made you take your love of it away. Number one, you're not only coming back to a business you love, you're coming back to it in front of your hometown, in front of a crowd that is primarily there to see nothing but you.
Yep.
Nothing but you. There is something, even as an indie wrestler, there is something about coming through the curtain, whether it's a small crowd or a large crowd, to have people chanting for you, cheering you, booing you. There's something about that. You made the United Center erupt in a way that it hasn't erupted since Michael Jordan played there.
Man. And them were the days. Them were the days indeed.
It ain't never erupted since Michael Jordan been there. So, of course, and he even said it, like, I didn't plan anything. They just gave him, like, we need you to at least do this. This floor is yours.
Right.
That's cool. He should be speechless. It'd be a different story if everything he came out and said was like, here go a normal scripted promo.
Right.
Because then it'd have been kind of sad. Also, I am so glad that AEW put that dude out the gate. I am so glad they opened the show with it and let it happen.
Yep.
Because that would have been just so unfair to everybody else on that show. If you would have saved him for last.
Right.
Because everybody just would have been chanting CM Punk through every match.
Oh, yeah. Yep. So they did that well. Now, one quick thing I do want to mention. He did mention in his promo that he said he got a couple of unfinished business to selling back. Who do you think he's talking about?
The fuck if I know?
Because, I mean, I thought about people. It was like, okay, he briefly rubbed elbows with Mox and them when, they was in the Shield.
Right. He briefly rubbed elbows with that. Like, that's something like I can't really think of anybody that he.
And I was gonna say too is like, plus, I mean, yeah, Matt Hardy's there, but he had more beef with Jeff than Matt. Unless Matt done said some stuff he had no business saying.
And I don't want to see Matt. I don't want to see Matt versus CM Punk.
No.
Matt looks like he hurts when he works now.
Yeah, because he got that walk, like,
That walk show you. That walk is like, oh, what's wrong with them hips? Like, like he's got that walk. I'm like, Again, I don't know, but I was thinking, are there any old ROH beefs that he might have with people?
I thought about that too.
And I was like, not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. So I just don't want. Here's a funny thing. When they come back for All Out, I just don't want them to have his match and have Bryan debut the same night.
Yeah, that'd be too much.
Because it's like Bryan coming regardless is going to be a big thing.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to get this Punk run out the way. You got to get this quick little Punk feel out the way. Get this, like, let everybody get their jollies in with it, and then allow him to come in. Like tonight on SummerSlam, this is comparison. Everybody's like, what's WWE going to do? I don't know if you saw I put it on Twitter. I said, yo, the WWE is about to run their third biggest show of the year in a football stadium. They are fine.
Yep, they're good.
They're not in a basketball arena like normal. They are in a football stadium.
Right.
They are running SummerSlam like it's WrestleMania. I need people to be like, yo, how the WWE gonna top that? Yo, one dude came out and spoke on the mic for 20 minutes. I get it. We saw it has been 7 years since he's been in a wrestling ring. Remember, he was doing wrestling commentary 2 years ago.
Yep.
So it's not like he hasn't been seen at all.
Mm-hmm.
But people got to stop acting like his thing is going to be, if you choose, I said this, the business is happy. Let the business be happy. The WWE is trying to compare themselves to this.
Right.
You know, Becky Lynch may show up tonight. That's always been a given, though.
True.
If Charlotte wins over Nikki Ash, expect for while Charlotte to win, Becky's music will hit.
Man, that would be wild too.
and we are getting that Money in the Bank cash in.
I got a feeling we are.
If Goldberg and Lashley are headlining, Lashley's winning barely, Big E's cashing on Lashley. Because think about it.
I can see that.
Think about it. You beat up Kofi. You beat up Woods.
Yep.
Now you eventually got to try to get your revenge back on Big E.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and also, Edge and Seth Rollins is a match 7 years in the making.
Yes, it is.
If anybody thinks this is going to be some bullshit, it's not.
Oh, no.
So, for people to try to compare the two, Bianca and Sasha, we don't know what personal shit they're dealing with or whatever, but Bianca and Sasha, you cool. I just saw, I'm in one of these bullshit ass Facebook groups. I hope you're not in it. If you are, I'm sorry for your life. The Nation of African American Wrestlers, whatever it is on Facebook.
No.
And somebody, I'm about to pull it up real quick because it really pissed me off to an extent when I saw it. Hold on, where is it? It's Nation of African American Wrestling LLC. I was like, I hate y'all. Hold on, where is it? Well, it was something about Vince couldn't get Mike Tyson, he couldn't get Shaq, Cardi B pulled out, Meg Thee Stallion pulled out, et cetera, et cetera. You're like, yo, calm down.
Exactly.
Calm down. Like, okay, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion ain't there. Are y'all really mad? Like, you really want to say you mad Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion ain't there? Y'all already had a thing you were going against when Bad Bunny was at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Until you saw Bad Bunny perform.
Mm-hmm. And look what happened with that.
Motherfuckers shut their mouth quickly. But it's just for me, it's just like people complain about the wrong shit. I would rather SummerSlam be a pro wrestling event. And if you have yes, I just said earlier, they are basically doing WrestleMania in the summer. All these pop artists would have made it WrestleMania for sure, minus a Hall of Fame induction.
Right.
So.
All I know is this. I would love to see Big E cash in like that. That would be dope as hell. Reigns still gonna have that belt, I feel.
If Vince McMahon pulls a summer of Cena like a summer of Punk, I will never underestimate Vince McMahon ever again in life. I've already said that with certain people that won a title, but if he lets Cena do that shit just to say, fuck y'all, we see what they doing, and you think you're gonna do something, to watch John Cena win the Universal title, have a 17 world reigns and say bye bitches and walk out, I think I'll cry laughing. I think I'll piss myself in my apartment. I piss myself in my apartment.
We'll see, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get all my food and liquor stuff going and get that popping for the night.
Man, I'm gonna try to figure out what I'm gonna do because, like I said, I got a guy coming by at 3:30 to mount my finally get my TV mounted. Then yeah, so
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what's up.
I pray
Yeah.
to get my TV mounted finally. Get my TV mounted today, and so that should be done by the time of the show. But I got to work tonight at the nightclub, so it's like I don't want to get like toe off where I'm like, I was just watching some because where's your ID? I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh man.
So yeah, man. I mean, before we get, I mean, if you want to wrap it up, because again, I know you gotta get stuff done real quick. Eternals trailer. Your thoughts?
That was very interesting. Very
I don't like those words. I don't like those words, sir.
No, it's very interesting because it's like I do like the scale of how they did the whole thing with Celestials. I like this a little more action packed. Brian Tyree Henry, he seems to be more the comical flair that we're gonna get off of that.
Yeah, because Vastos' character, he's a dude. He's always been a technology dude. He's the inventor.
Mm-hmm.
He's just real reserved. He's like, yo, this is shit like blah blah blah, and he just gonna be because like again, one of the big things is he's the first. He's like gonna be the first openly gay character,
right?
In family, but. The shit with the like when dude broke his tape was like, what is this tape made out of vibranium? When
right.
Broken, he was like, it's like Kia, dude. Kia small collection, like nigga, like.
Right.
So yeah, man, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think there's no doubt that I've been pumped since they announced this. Because again, I love the fact that Marvel Studios is like, yo, we finna do these obscure ass characters most of y'all don't know about, and we're gonna make you love it.
And that's what I'm already hearing with Shang-Chi, and I got a feeling, yeah, the same thing finna happen with Eternals. Look at it.
Top five MCU movie.
Okay. I can't wait.
Arguably, maybe my top 5 comic book movie ever.
Ooh.
Ever.
Okay.
Ever. The story is so cold. They address so much shit through the MC. It's a standalone movie that addresses certain shit that's already been brought up in the MCU.
Okay.
And this is what it is. Boom, we moving. The fight choreography is some of the best fight choreography I think I've ever seen in TV or film. Some of the best fight choreography ever. The story is so cold. The visual effects are so dope. Shang-Chi has the pleasure of having had all these movies before it. So what they've done visually, creatively, story-wise, you can learn from it and you can improve on it or fix up shit that others didn't do right. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Bro. Tony Leung, his name is Winwoo. Everybody's found it out.
Okay.
The reason he isn't called the Mandarin, and this is a small spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. He tells him, he's like, yo, these Americans tried to take my organization and make it, they tried to make my organization theirs, the 10 Rings, and they needed a figurehead. And guess what they called him? The Mandarin. Yeah, they named him after an orange. I said, that is the best way to chop that shit down so quick, because the Chinese market was worried about all the stereotypes, which, like I said, on Blurs and everything else. If you've ever read a Shang-Chi comic, nigga, Shang-Chi's father in the comics is Fu Manchu. That means the Asian guy with the mustache that goes here. Fu Manchu. That's how he sounds. Fu Manchu. You're like, okay. Fing Fang Foom. I love Fing Fang Foom as a character. A giant talking dragon. He's not Fing Fang Foom. I was like, they made sure to give all reverence and respect to Chinese culture.
That's cool.
So, all right, man. Before I get up out of here and you get up out of here, tell the people, man, how they can send you some love, some positive vibes, some hugs, and all that shit, and what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate the time as always, brother. You can check me out on Chauncey C. Woodson at Facebook. You can also check me out on Instagram on CCW_78. You can also check me out on my movie blog site on Instagram as well, called Chauncey in Chat Live. That's CHAUNCINE Chat Live. And I got some upcoming stuff with this gentleman right here.
Yeah, we'll talk to you about that as soon as we get off air, because I'm for it, but I'm talking to you about it when we get off.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about some good-ish on that. And yeah, you can check me out on Twitter, Chauncey_prime. And that's how you rock with me.
Y'all already know who I am, man. Make sure you follow Chauncey on everything. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for the rest of the August series here in the squad. I appreciate the love and the support as always. Hey, don't go nowhere. I'll holler at y'all later. I'm out. Yep. Bye.
Peace.